This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Daily Herald.
Well, Mike, it's a busy time here at Neuqua. We're in the pool because there's hard to find a place around here that isn't filled with activity.
Exactly.
I know your guys' season ended a week ago. First super sectional berth since 2003, I believe. A very successful season. Now that you've had a little bit of time to process the season that was, I guess, what kind of comes to mind when you think of the Wildcat campaign this year?
Probably the most important thing that comes to my mind, and it was evident at the banquet. We had our banquet Sunday night. The seniors were really adamant about speaking about the season. More than anything else, it was about the memories. And our theme this year was the bus ride. We're taking a bus ride, and we did kind of a goofy thing. Beginning of the year, we invited the parents to be on the bus. And there were some parameters that they had to follow, and they did. And so we got on that bus ride, and like anything else, we've been on those long rides where back in the day when it was me, we had a Walkman, with the cassette player, but they had their iPods and they're listening, you're looking out the window, you're snoozing, you're daydreaming, and they had dreams. And not once did we talk about anything else except having an opportunity to get to the state. And I think that goal right there was not unsurmountable at all. It was a task that they took, with enthusiasm, and they went after it. And we played, obviously lost to the state champions, but to have an opportunity to get there, to be in the Elite Eight out of 140 teams that started, was a huge task for us to accomplish, and I'm proud of them. So it's the memories more than anything else. And there's so many different memories. As a matter of fact, I was telling at the banquet, I said, on the bus ride you hear a lot of things. And one of the things was ratchet, and I never heard the word ratchet. But, to me, I'm thinking, man, these girls are talking about a tool. I got a ratchet at home. I turn around and say, hey, I got a ratchet at home. And they go, no, coach, you do not want to go home and tell your wife that she's ratchet. I go, I have no idea what that meant. Didn't even want to know. I just turned around and started doing the scorebook, and that was the end of it. But those are the memories that we're going to take. That last game, the buzzer went off, but their bus stopped there. The seniors are off on another bus heading somewhere else, and we're ready to move on to the future again.
You mentioned that senior core, and I know you have some four-year varsity players in there. When we look at the Smith twins, Alicia Aguilar, Lauren DeVakis, Nikki really came into the fold this year as a star for you. I guess when you look at what they've done in their 4 years, I think averaged right around 25 wins.
Sure.
It was a group that has kind of really made their mark on this program and seemed to leave it in better shape than when they came in.
No doubt about it. I think when they came in, we were talking about the transition. That was a time where Matea had opened up. There was some transition between boundaries. We lost some kids. We lost Becky Williford, Jordan, Ross, all of them within 1 year after being varsity starters to Wabanzi, who became a stellar team. So, and then a couple other kids had moved out. So I thought these kids came in at the perfect time as freshmen. They had some great leadership from Amber Smith, the Megan Duties, Alexa Wilds, but there was only one or two of those kids that kind of showed them the way. And I thought what they did with the leadership component, they followed, there was like a pack of wolves. They kept it going and going and going, and all of a sudden here they are seniors, and it just infiltrated every level of play, all the way down to the youth kids. So it's a great testimony to them that they brought it to that standard where it was before we had all these transitional items that had happened with us, and it's there now, and then you can just hear it, not in the voices from them at the banquet, but also the younger kids, the Bryces, the Jamies, the Maya Starks, the Kai Moons, Cops, even all the kids that didn't play much. Alicia Aguilar is probably the best kept secret. Here's a senior that came in her junior year, came from Plainfield Central, was their star player, and came right in, worked hard, didn't see a ton of time, but fit right in. It feels like when we left, it's like, my God, it feels like you've been here the entire time with them. So again, their ability to bring everyone into the fold and stay on path was just amazing, and it makes my job much easier, regardless of the wins.
And that's the other thing we've kind of seen from your program is, there is that elite group of players that we've seen that have been able to play on the varsity level for all 4 years. When I look at like Malia and Najee, who were able to do that, what is it about a player that you're able to see that you're not worried about putting them out there as a freshman?
Well, we're involved with our youth program, so we have hands-on approach, and we pay a lot of visits to practices and help coaches, and we go, I'm heading out to middle school games on Thursday night to watch some kids, and so it's, and we've got this Wildcat Pal Club that our varsity kids hook up with these kids from kindergarten on, so there's an instant connection between all the kids that are younger and older, and so I have an opportunity to see them play from 4th grade on. So we have an idea when we walk in here hey, you know what, here's some spots that we need to fill. We don't know if we have anyone, at the other levels that can do that, so let's take a look at these kids. And when we get a good look at them, we understand what we have here, what we can mesh with, and the most important part, no matter what I think, is how they're accepted by these kids. And I think because we've done it so much, like Megan Kiefer this year as a freshman, our kids are used to that. So it's something that's common. It's not uncommon for us to say, hey, she fits right in with what we're doing. And they just take them under the wing and go with it. So I think that's all about that family atmosphere.
And speaking specifically to those two, Malia, your point guard these last couple seasons, really solid. The thing that sticks out about Najee is her versatility. She filled so many different roles for you. What are you losing when you have those two?
Versatility. I'm making my job tougher now. Malia was a John Stockton. I always called her that because you never doubted what you were going to get. If you got more, it was a great night. But she had the ability by the end of the game, oh my God, 6 assists, couple steals, 10 points. You're kidding me? It didn't seem like it. And she was thrown right in the fire from freshman year. Jay was thrown in there in a different sense because she had to play a 2-guard, a 3-guard, a 4-guard, a 5. She had to be a point guard one time this year because we had a couple kids foul out. So I think that versatility, if nothing else, shows that kids that are younger than her, they listen, you can expand your game and you can become a vital part of this team. The more versatile you are, guess what? The better chance you have of being on the floor at different positions. And she never once said, hey, coach, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. It was always, hey, tell me what you need. Tell me what I can do for the team. And I think that was an important component of why we were so successful as well.
Nikki Lazar, somebody that really emerged for you this year. I mean, somebody that
Dennis Rodman? Yeah.
Really was a rotation player for you. And then, I mean, she comes in this season, UEC Valley Player of the Year. Did you see that coming?
There was something in her eye. You could always tell there was something underneath it all. You didn't have any idea it was going to take, it's her senior year to really come to the forefront. But I really felt that she was someone that was just kind of waiting, biding her time. I'm sure there was times in her mind she doubted herself, saying, hey, should I stay, should I not? And she alluded to that when she spoke to everyone. And she stuck with it. And I think the important message there is, you hear this all the time from coaches and programs, next man up. And when it was her opportunity, she took complete advantage of it, and she understood the role that she played up until her senior year, and her role changed all 4 years. And another testimony to those kids is that they understood that, hey, this year this is my role, this year this is my role. This year was Nikki's role to say, hey, I got to take charge. I've done all the other things, it's my turn now, I'm going to step up. And I think probably I recognized there was really something special about her sophomore year when we played Rosary, and she dove out of bounds and went to the scoreboard, shattered the whole scoreboard, and we were all worried. She got right back and just kept going. And we go, wow, there it is, right there. You've got that. You can deal with all the other things. You can teach her the skills. So, phenomenal story. I mean, you only hear about those in movies. Yeah.
Now, when you look at kind of the progress of that group and your team specifically over these last 4 years, lost in the regional championship, then won a regional, lost in the sectional semi, lost in the sectional title game last year, and then you guys win a sectional this year, kind of continuing to make that progress. Why were you guys able to get over that hump this year?
I think like anything else in athletics especially, you keep knocking on the door. Sooner or later that door is going to open up and you kind of can creep in. And I have a good friend that's been in coaching for a long time. He says, you need talent, but you need a little luck too. And I think there's some things that happen. Fortunately, Bolingbrook wasn't as strong, and they got knocked out early on. And obviously, you had some other great teams. Oswego had a nice team. It's hard to beat a good team twice, and they played us very well. And we knew that once we got past that, it was going to be Trinity or Whitney Young. And unfortunately, we played the state champions. And I think, though, you just got to keep knocking at the door. You got to keep talking about expectations and setting goals, and you've got to actually demand that, hey, here's where we are. In our meetings that we were having this week, our individual meetings with the kids after the year, we talk about, okay, where do you see yourself? Where do we want to be? Never have we compared ourselves to any team in the past, and that's the thing you want to stay away from, is that, hey, last year we did this. Well, no, this is not last year's team. This is this year's team. But the goals don't have to get lowered because of that, and I don't think our goals are lowered. And everyone that I've talked to have said, hey, Coach, we just want to have a chance one more time to have that chance to get to state. And the only way to do that is to get to super sectional. So the mindset is in place. We just have to get to work, and unfortunately, you can't wait too long. Yeah.
You've mentioned the next man up a couple times. You mentioned it when we talked last week after the Super Sectional. You know, you look at this core you got coming back: Bryce Menendez, Maya Starks, Jamie McInerney as well. You've got some key pieces there. I would imagine the expectations continue to be high as we take a very, very early look into next season.
Sure, I think so. I think our expectations are to get back to the Super Sectional again. I think right now you're going to see some things from Kai Moon and some other kids, Megan Kiefers. What's been nice about how we've kind of filtered in these kids throughout the years at different ages is that the pressure's not on them. You know, unfortunately for Malia, the pressure was on her as a freshman. But for Kai Moon, she's had a chance to sit back and soak up some things and learn some things and not have to feel I got to score. You know, Maya Starks, Megan Kiefer, all those kids. Bryce Menendez stepped up after Allison Hedrick left. Bryce had to assume the role, hey, I've got to start scoring more. You know, all of a sudden Najee moves from a wing player to a post player. So now you got a different combination, and I think that mentality right there has been set. These kids are ready to go, and I'm looking forward. I think the exciting part is who's the next man up, to see who's going to be the next Nikki Lazar or next Allison Hedrick and where that's going to come from.
Who's your early odds-on favorite that might fill that role?
My odds-on favorite is I have no idea, to be quite honest with you. If you had asked me this last year, I wouldn't have been able to say Nikki Lazar either. You know, the obvious ones are the Bryces and the Kais and the Mayas, but I always like the unknown. And so I really look forward to seeing what happens between now and the end of the summer. And all of a sudden hop in here in the fall, and then you can ask me in the fall, and I could probably say, hey, watch out for this kid and that kid. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think everybody responds differently to challenges. And, Nikki's determination, her mindset, she responded in a way that was above and beyond what we thought. We knew we had it in her, but what we thought. And, well, you know, in defense of Malia and Najee, they've been doing it for 4 years. They've been playing at this level for 4 years. So for Nikki, it was just an added bonus for us. Yeah. So we'll see. Ask me in the fall, I'll tell you.
All right, definitely. Well, Mike, we appreciate you taking the time to sit down with
Thanks
us.
for
And good luck as you get ready to go into the off season, and we'll see what happens. It'll be next fall before we know it.
All right, go Wolverines.